oh man. Gunline. Fire mission coming down. It's your host Lopez, and you're here on the Gunline podcast, episode number 2 that I'm recording today. And I got my homie Mike here, Lee Hunt,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna chop it up and see what's been going on in the world today. It's funny because just about 2 minutes ago I started recording, and I think he tried to test my gangster with my rhyming skills. And little does he know, I'm a child of the '70s. I grew up in the '80s and '90s, and I know my Slick Rick. As a matter of fact, I have that whole album, so
Damn.
I listened to
Vinyl?
it on the daily. Huh,
On vinyl?
bro? I had the cassette back in the day.
No, I thought you
And
had
I'm
it now.
talking about one of my favorite songs on that whole record was on that whole album was um
Ooh,
Mona
that picked
Lisa
up.
was good. And then there was the one about Davy Crockett where anyways, he was talking about an Indian chick, and then he pulled up the lips and there was crabs with spears and Indian drums singing hey ya hey ya hey ya hey. Anywho, what's going on, Gunline? Welcome here. It's Lopez and I'm chopping up with Hunt. And honestly, I wanted to talk with Hunt. Last week I had a conversation with Chooks, one of our mutual friends, and we just chopped it up and talked about the state of the world. And him and I had a pretty cool discussion about what we think is lacking and missing in this world. And I wanted to have the same opportunity with Hunt because I know Hunt is um has opposite ideas of what him and I think, but I think we meet in the middle on some things. So anyway, with that said, what's going on, Hunt? How you been, brother man?
It's been a good 9 months and 1 day that I've been sober. It's been good.
That I am so proud of, bro. I'm serious. That is it's honestly it's a big accomplishment for those that have never had to deal with an addiction like that. You know what I mean? Now I don't want to say it was an addiction, more of because sometimes we feel that
Coping mechanism, really.
there you go. That's
Well, for me,
definitely
it was coping mechanism.
and I'm proud of you, brother. I really, really am. I've been on that tip now since August of 2018. And I'm not going to sit here and bullshit and say that I haven't had a shot or two. I do. And that's on Memorial Day, usually, that I'll take a shot, but it's not like I'm taking a shot to get drunk or drink. It's just out of respect and out of tradition. So, but as far as like drinking to get drunk or even to get a buzz, no. But anyways, congratulations on that, brother, and keep on that path, bro.
Well, I don't know
We're
about
living
that.
in a wild ass
My
world,
thing
man.
was, I was like, yo, I just want to at least do a year. I got to get these kidneys. Like, that's not saying like, even so, even if I do start back drinking after a year, I'm not gonna go hard like I was. Like, I'm not gonna
You,
wake up and just like throw them bitches
yeah,
back.
get that Dos Equis on in you.
Yeah, like I
It's not
think
Modelo time.
if I do it, it'll more or less be strictly weekends.
Word. So, yeah, man, the U.S. Not just the U.S. I want to say society itself. It seems, at least in my opinion, we're at a point where it seems to compassion has gone out the window, and that goes on both sides, as far as like what happened with Charlie Kirk, and I'm just gonna put this straight out. I've never asked anybody to mourn Charlie Kirk. I just asked don't celebrate. You know, that's it. And so that's one end. There was no compassion there. Not by you, I'm saying, but a lot of folks on the left, I'll say. And then also to hit on the right side as well, with the raids that have been going on through the ICE department, or Customs and Borders. There's been no compassion there. And even with this whole thing with the whole Bad Bunny thing, it's ridiculous to me, bro. Like, why? What do you think is wrong with our society right now, man?
Oh boy, you trying to get this show canceled? Like we can
It's all
see it.
gravy.
We can see what's going on, man. Like, I'm trying to think how I can do this and not just.
You can say it however you want, man. I mean, at the end of the
No,
day,
I don't want to do that because I'm not trying to just. I
I
think
think
there's,
honestly,
I think
why you're,
certain ideas. There's
Mhm.
certain ideas that people wanted to push, right? And there are people in power now that are pushing these ideas, and they're not just coming out and just doing it all at once. And they're finding covert ways to do it. But we can see that if we look at a certain playbook, that the ideas, the narratives, and things that they're pushing line up with things that were in that playbook that people want to push. And I think that there's a lot of pushback against it. As far as the world goes, like what I mean, I think that people should. That there's no freedom in the world. None. Everything is regulated. There's only certain things that I believe should be that there should be laws against. Anything doing with harming children, anything doing with violating another human that is not consensual, right? I think that should be there, right? Plain and simple. Personally, I'm not hooked on drugs. I don't care. I don't care anything about it. Like, I think that if America would be somewhat like Amsterdam, then it would be fine. I don't think that like marijuana is a bad thing. Like to have
Agreed.
that, I think if marijuana would be taken off of a Schedule One drug, I don't believe that a lot of other drugs would be used as much in this country. I don't think that the MDMA would be used. I don't think that like uh the whatever would be used if we get it off of Schedule One and we actually have dispensaries all across this country and we regulate it like we do alcohol. No
Mhm.
smoking and driving. Like, okay, you smoke, like there should be something that where we can test and see if people are doing this. I mean, people drink and drive for God's sakes, and we're not taking that away.
Facts.
So, like, just do something to where this. I'm telling you, if marijuana, I don't smoke weed,
Mhm.
I don't, but I promise you, if it was legal, a lot of these other drugs people wouldn't be doing it. Promise you.
I agree with you 100,000% on that. I think that it should be legal, honestly. And the only reason that it's not is because the government can't regulate it. That's the only reason. Promise you it's that. You know why? Think about it like this, Hunt. Do you think I'm going to go to a dispensary and pay an exuberant amount of cash for legal weed when I know that my homeboy down the street has his own that he got and I could buy a lot more for what I'm illegally and I could still smoke it legally?
See, therein lies the problem because I was talking to one of our friends about this the other day. Well, we were talking about the cartels. I was like, okay, so
Mhm.
then I got it. Everybody wants to blame the cartels, but why not blame the consumer? The consumer is the one that's employing the cartel. The consumer is the cartel's boss because if it
So,
wasn't for the consumer, the cartel wouldn't be there. Somebody has to get that product. So the
right.
consumer is wanting the cartel to do this stuff. So we're blaming the cartels, which I have no problem with. But let's face facts. The blame belongs on the consumer.
So I think also the blame falls into the let's you ever done coke?
I have not.
You ever smoked rocks? I'm
Fuck
being
no.
real. You ever
No.
smoked a rock?
Fuck
All
no.
right. I I I, I used to smoke. I smoked a rock here and there.
I feel you, man.
Especially
God
when
bless
I put it on some weed, call it a cocoa. Oh, that's a primo.
you.
And then you mix it up with cigarette, that's a cocoa puff.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
here's
you
the thing.
got
The
that.
reason I'm saying that is because the cocaine that is used is highly addictive. Highly, highly, highly addictive. Now, it's not like weed, where weed is addictive because it's not. And you're not gonna overdose on weed. It's just not gonna happen. But when it comes down to like cocaine, yeah, that is highly addictive. And the reason I ask about coke is because back in the day, I might have done a line or two here and there. And this is for educational purposes only, YouTube. All right. I'm not glorifying it. What I'm saying is it's highly addictive and
Oh, I
it can
know.
kill you. It can kill you. So if you take the supplier out of the loop, then you won't really have a demand for it because motherfuckers won't be getting hooked on it and addicted to it. And that's the issue with the people that are supplying it. Now, people are having a big problem because these boats are getting blown up in the middle of the sea. I think it's kind of funny personally. Hey, fuck it. We had a war on drugs back in the 80s. Just say no, the whole dare program. You know what I'm saying? But let's be realistic. All right. If we want to be real, let's be real. So you want to be real? Be real, son. All right. You got to know that the government is in bed with some of these cartels.
No shit. Like the government was like, I find it funny that we had a war on drugs in the '80s, but the war was started by Reagan to fund the Iran Contra bullshit going on.
Mhm.
So I think that was very funny.
Exactly. So I mean, look, they got to keep up their images. So I don't care about any of that. As far as like cocaine and stuff like that, those are hard drugs, bro. Honestly, if somebody wants to do it, go ahead and do it, Holmes. But let's
Exactly.
just say, let's be real. The reason that they're not legal is because the government can't make money off of it if it's legal.
Yeah,
They can't.
I think that I do think that, like I said, if some things should be, if you want to do coke, fine, man. Just like once again,
Do it in your home.
sell all your shit. Do coke. Have your nose just rotted out. All that you want. I don't give a fuck. It's not do nothing to me.
But
It's
it
not.
will.
But I think people think that it's going to be a burden on society. I think that's what people's going to do. And I think that's why people think that
Well,
even marijuana will.
well, I mean, yes and no on that. I think as far as cocaine does cause people to alter their mentality and do stupid shit. And again, I can speak from experience, and also because I've known folks that would do just yayo, and it's not like you just gonna get high and stay in your house. It don't work like that. When you on yayo, you want to go out and do something. You think you Superman, bro. I mean, nothing can. It's just a whole different mentality than when you herbaled out. With herb, what did cats say? Happy, hungry, sleepy. You know what I'm saying? It
I
don't
don't
work
know,
like that
man.
with yayo.
Like, oh.
But that I think that I'm with you on that. I think that there should be a lot of things that should be legal to do as long as if you're not bothering nobody, do what you
Who the
do,
fuck
boo boo.
cares? Who the fuck
Yeah,
cares? But
but
when but now I think that what should happen is right. If this were to happen, one, people got to understand it's not going to be the fall of civilization because these people are doing it to themselves, right? And
mhm,
then we can look at Darwinism. Okay, hey, survival of the fittest, baby. You just went on ahead and eliminated yourself from the fucking gene pool. It is what it is.
right,
But I think there has got to be strict consequences if people are going to do this,
okay,
right? Like,
I
hey,
I
bro,
agree.
like there's gonna be some serious jail time going on. If you fuck
Oh
up,
yeah,
you're gonna be in some serious jail time. Do what the fuck you want to do. Don't come on the jobs high, especially if you're operating like trucks, machinery, or
mhm.
anything like that. No, you're not coming on no jobs high. You're putting everybody's life in danger. Anything that you can put somebody's life in, damn sure don't
But
be no pilot and be
so
fucked up.
let me ask you though on that note, can privatized can jobs do spur of the moment drug tests?
Yeah, because they're private. If the company says
Okay.
they don't want you doing it, you are working for an entity. That
All right.
entity has
So
its own rules.
what about government workers?
Government workers, see, this is where it's crazy. If it's legal, if it's legalized, right?
Exactly.
Does the government has legalized it, then those people have to follow the rules, i.e., listen, it's legal, but you cannot be high on the job.
But how can you tell if they are or not unless you
I
piss
mean,
test them?
you can pretty much tell from
Yeah, you
no
can tell when
high
somebody's high
on
on
the
coke.
job. Yeah, I said high on the job, not like smoked a bowl
I
last
think
night and
honestly,
it shit's in your system.
there's a lot of risk mitigation. I think there that you would have to do. Do one of those composite risk managements. What are There's a lot I think in there, but back to the world and society that we're in right now, hon. I mean, I trip out, bro. I really wish that we could hit a reset button, in society itself. People can't seem to have why is it? Is the government still shut down right now?
Yes, this or that. Maybe so. You know, Three Eye Atlas just passed Mars yesterday, right?
I don't even
No,
know what that
today.
is.
Three Eye Atlas. It is. Oh my God, are you serious?
Bro, I don't have any idea what you're talking about right now.
Three Eye Atlas is the third interstellar object that's crossed our solar system. Now, what makes Three Eye Atlas so crazy is it came from the same region of space back in the 1970s, where it was like 70 something, it was 70 or 80 seconds worth of like radio code. And it was a specific code came from that was picked up. And the guy that picked it up, he just wrote wow on it. But Three Eye Atlas came
Hmm,
from the same place that this motherfucker came from. So, and what's happening is it's not even acting like a real comet would act like because normal comets, they have their cloud trail in behind them, right? From when
okay.
it's like they're getting close to the sun and it's warming up.
Yeah, it's
And you get
melting
these
that
vapors.
trail.
Yeah. Yeah. Three Eye Atlas is coming from the front.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Its cloud trail is in the front. So this is just like I know a lot of people think I'm just full of shit, but I nerd out on things too, you motherfuckers. I nerd out on a lot of shit. All right.
You got that big Virgo energy going right now,
Yeah,
and
to
I'm
cover this
digging it.
big forehead that I had to cover up.
For real. So I mean, I will say this, I follow you on Facebook. I see, what you post on there. And sometimes I feel you do it to push buttons. You know what
Who,
I'm
me?
saying?
No, no, I would
You
never.
know.
I would never do that to anybody.
Yeah, for real, right? And I've as somebody who has been now, and if it's cool, I'd like to discuss this with you, you know. And if you don't, I'll just tell me like, nah, we talk that offline. We talk offline.
Yeah.
But it's has to do with like, how you're coming down hard on Christians, on
Mhm.
people, on followers of Christ. And I personally, I remember what I was talking about earlier. I think that you blanket a lot of the Christian folk or the followers of Christ because or you believe that a lot of the people that are either center right, right or far right or MAGA right are of that denomination or that belief. And I think that's a way that you like to poke on the bear of the right side because of the Christian background. Or is there something deeper there? Um,
No, it's nothing deeper there. Like I do see a lot of people, especially a lot of the MAGAs, and not so much. It can be either the MAGAs or just the casual. And this is my perception. Even
mhm.
the casual ones, casual Christians, is like, do y'all really like? I don't understand how people cannot read the Bible and interpret it for themselves, and they will listen to other people. Like I said, Greg Locke is famous for saying that if you're a liberal, you can't be a Christian. Where does it say that in the Bible?
Yeah,
People
that's
seriously believe
ridiculous.
if you're a liberal, you cannot be a Christian. It says Jesus never said if you are a liberal, you will not be a Christian.
Yeah,
You
I don't
can't
know where people
you
get
can't
that
be a
stuff.
follower of Christ. And so you have these Christians that say that, and it's like, show me where it says it in the Bible. Show me where.
I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Like I said, I'm new into this path, so I am in no way, like I said earlier with when I was talking with Marquez, I am not a theological expert whatsoever. I have just started my journey here, and I'm learning. And I'm
But
not going to sit here and quote scripture that I'm not 100% sure of. What I do dislike about a lot of people that do consider themselves Christian is that they like to pick and choose what
exactly.
but hold on, you're not gonna say exactly after I get done with this. A lot of people like to pick and choose what they want to pull out of context and spew out there just to back up their agenda. But the same thing on the other side of the coin. A lot of folks like to take snippets of conversations or debates and post them up there without hearing the whole context of it all. You see what I'm saying? So it's the way one person's demonizing one side, the other side is doing the same thing to the other. You see what I'm saying?
I see. So let me ask you this: if you, when we talk about taking clips
Hmm.
and part of what a speech said, right, and we're taking
Right.
that, and people are running with it and saying this person was bad,
Hmm.
right, because of this part of the speech, that's all you heard, and this person was bad.
Hmm.
If the funny mustache man,
Hmm.
did you like if he was talking about like how he wanted good things for his country, right?
Hmm.
But he also was saying a whole bunch of horrible things. He was telling these tropes about Jewish people,
Hmm.
but we didn't need to listen to his whole speech to know that he was full of hate. We didn't need to listen to his whole speech to know that, yo, he is trying to do something bad. He has this bad idea of Jewish people. We didn't need to listen to it. See, there's German people that thought that his
Hmm.
ideas for their country were good, that listened to the speech,
Hmm.
the whole speech. But we
Oh,
did
I've
not
heard it
need
in
to listen
English.
to we don't need to listen to the whole speech to know that, hey, listen, you're saying this about Jewish people, you're calling them this, you're calling them that. So why do I need to listen to anything else? You are
So,
pretty much calling for their eradication. I don't care what
so
other things
there
you
you
have
go.
said.
See, so the person that we're speaking about, so we could be completely
They know
transparent,
who you. We can't
is
say that.
Charlie
We can't
Kirk.
say that.
I'll say
Oh,
his
oh yeah,
fucking
yeah.
name, Charlie
Oh
Kirk.
no, no. I thought we were talking about the funny mustache man.
Oh yeah, I'll talk about that motherfucker too.
No, we
So
can't
the
say his.
difference.
YouTube.
Okay, fine. It's funny because I wake up every morning and to put myself up, I listen to that song Erica Don Don. It's like the old German army marching song, and I
Erica.
played it because somebody had played it and I had heard it on TikTok or something, and it got stuck in my head. So I had to look up the lyrics to see what it was. It's about a freaking flower. Anywho, long story short, I listened to it and somebody's allergic to
No, no,
bullshit.
go
That's what it is.
ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But
Woo, that bullshit was deep.
so no, so that's what my son calls him, is the funny mustache man from Germany. So
Yeah.
anywho, but I was talking about, we're talking about him as well as Charlie Kirk, and just full transparency, because there were some snippets that were put out there, and the reason I say that is because I've watched a lot of the debates, specifically when he's talking about some of them. Now, do I agree with 1,000% of everything he said? No, I don't. But when the people are trying to make him out to be a racist, people are trying to make him out to be what he's not. You know what I'm saying? I listen to the whole content. Now, you're free to believe whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Free to believe that. I don't believe that. And I can lay out my case as to why. But he never said to anything on the event of like, these people should be eradicated or these people should be taken out. So anyway, the context of that one had to do with the DEI type crap and quotas that needed to be filled. So anywho, because it had to do with the whole pilot training and whatnot. But anyway, that's nor here nor there. Unless you want to go ahead and delve into that one, we can. But I think, we have different views on that. And what I didn't like, honestly, in all honesty, is the fact that people were celebrating it. And like I said, nobody's asking you to, to feel sorry for him or mourn him. But how about just not celebrate it or politicize it? I was like, can we at least wait till the blood dries? Because I mean, if you at one point didn't feel like, damn, that sucks, bro, then that to me, it's like, is there even a heart in there? Any compassion whatsoever?
So we say, is there a heart in there? Is there any compassion? I
Hmm.
remember plenty of videos. Those same people, not you, but the same
Right.
people that are crying and complaining about having heart compassion for Charlie Kirk are the same ones
Hmm.
that had nothing to say when people were mocking Trayvon Martin, when they had their iced tea, their iced tea, their
Hmm.
Skittles, and mocking him. There was no compassion for it, and that was a child. That was a 17-year-old. That was a child.
So
There was no compassion. There's
I
people
agree
that
with
are
you on
still
that.
making fun and like with and having and making fun of George Floyd with having a knee on his neck for 9 minutes. There's no compassion. You
And I
cannot
agree with
ask
you with that.
people to have compassion when you're not even having compassion for other people. And I'm not saying you, but I'm saying it's very
Hmm.
funny that everybody wants to have compassion for somebody else, but you won't extend the same compassion for other people. Philando Castile got unalived in front of his child in the back seat, and he had his
Hmm.
license to carry card. He even
Agree with
said he
you.
did. So people want
Hmm.
all this compassion for somebody else, but where's the compassion for everybody else?
So
Where's the compassion for the people in Boulder, Colorado? Where's the compassion for the people that named the school? Where
so
the compassion for the people that named the church?
all right. And let me rewind it. So let's start with Trayvon Martin. Um, that one, it's a bit of a hot topic. I'm not saying that he deserved what he got at all, because honestly, I don't believe that that when somebody loses their life, it's a big deal, man. Especially a young kid. Now, the idiot that went chasing after him, it was wrong for chasing after him. And then the kid, I wasn't there, but allegedly he was beating the crap out of him. He should have just took his ass whooping like a man, and then just gone about his day. You know what I'm saying? And but apparently, I don't know what weapon was allegedly used. I don't know. So I'm saying, like, that was an altercation that ended up with an life ending. So I agree with you. Those that clowned on that, not cool, not cool whatsoever. Uh, the cat that was in the car that told him, "Yo, I have a gat on me," and to still get shot up again. That's the idiot's fault that shot him. That was wrong, and I don't know what happened with that case. Is the cop doing time on that?
Not that I'm mistaken. Neither is the cop that unalived Tatiana Jefferson. I believe that's her name. When she was in her house with her nephew playing Fortnite, and he didn't even open
Mm.
the door, just shot through the door. Where's the
And that
compassion?
shouldn't just anger. That should anger all of America, because especially when it comes down to those no knock warrants and stuff like that. Like that one lady that got
Yeah, I know who you're
Um,
talking about, Brianna.
so yeah, that's to me, that stuff right there, that should alert everyone. Now, we talk about the dude with the neck. All right.
I'm not still. I told people don't. You don't
Here's
have to
what I'm gonna
celebrate
say
it. You
about
don't have
that.
to mourn
Here's
it.
what I'm saying about that. Um, the neck, the knee on the neck wasn't what smoked him or killed or took his life. All right. I'm just saying the knee on the neck isn't what took his life. Let's be 100% about that.
We are
Now,
100%. Let me.
I'm
I'm
not saying
160 pounds. Let me put my knee on your neck for 9 minutes in your carotid artery. I guarantee you're not going to live. You have no drugs in your system.
is
You have zero drugs in your system. I
he
can
had
put
drugs
a
in his
hundred.
system.
No, I'm saying you though. You or anybody else.
His
I can
knee was
put.
on that was not on his carotid. Because if it was on his carotid, then it would have fell asleep a long time ago.
All
Because
right,
once that blood flow to the brain stops,
I can
so
put
I
my
mean,
knee on your neck and still for 160 pounds for 9 minutes, and you're not going to make it.
now I'm not saying again, haven't dabbled in all of it. What I'm saying is, isn't that fool in jail anyway?
Chauvin, yeah, but
Okay, so
Trump's trying
now
to.
on that one as well, I don't know. I don't know. From my understanding is that this fool, we got shown just that portion of it from the get go. All we got shown was a portion of the cop with his knee on his back on his neck. All right, but there was a lot that happened before all that. So I'm just gonna leave it on that. And again, a man lost his life. That to me, it's horrible. And he had a family. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do what a lot of these people do, which is start going into their background because their background has nothing to do with where they're at that moment. Now, you know, we got this situation that happened with this. Before I even get to the one in North Carolina, we got that one lady that got burnt alive in New York subway.
No, she didn't
Like,
get burnt alive. She got in her neck.
no, I'm
It's the
not
one.
talking about that. I'm talking about the one on the subway in
Oh
New
yeah,
York.
the one actually on the subway. Yeah, New York is
Yeah.
a scary place.
You know what and what I'm getting at is all these acts of violence, bro. I don't care about the race or religion or anything. I care about the acts of violence that are happening. Then the one chick on the bus, she got stuck in the throat. You know what pissed me off most about that? Nobody acted.
See,
Not one person.
well, this is the thing though. You got to remember: fight, flight, freeze. Everybody has those three responses, and we can't
Mhm.
judge people because they may have froze. Like it's just in some people's nature. Some people just normally freeze. Like
I get that 100%.
but you know what you're right. Like it's like damn man, no one wants to try to. I can understand it, but at the same time, we have to understand that every single human has the fight, flight, or freeze, and
So with that,
your
you don't think a
response
lot
to fighting may not be somebody else's automatic response to fighting.
you don't think a lot of it might have been with what happened to the one dude on the subway that tried to stop an altercation from even beginning, and then all of a sudden it turned into a race issue, and they said that he did it because he was racist?
No, because there were black people on that bus too. They,
So
when he got
okay,
snatched,
so let me ask
that
so let me
that
ask you.
incident can't be that.
So you don't think that that people were like, hell no, I'm not gonna get busted?
No,
Do
I
you
think
think
that
let
people's
me ask you,
flight,
if there
flight,
would
or
have
freeze.
been if there would have been a non-minority on that bus that would have stopped that dude, do you think that they would say, oh, he did that because he was black?
No, because they would have seen a violent action. So there's no way that anybody could see that and not justify, like, hey, listen, this guy's seen a violent action,
Hmm.
despite of what he is. Despite if the black guy stabbing somebody, he's seen this dude do a violent action. Even if he
Hmm.
would have seen it, even if that woman would have been black, and they seen that violent action happen, and they stopped him. How can anybody say he's racist? They stopped it.
Because what I'm saying is set the precedent what happened in what the hell is that on my fucking mosquito? I don't know if
No,
y'all
I
saw
don't
that
think so.
mosquito on my forehead.
But and the deal with that dude too is though, like, when was enough enough? Like, come on now. I don't know if you've been in combatives or not. I don't know if you choke somebody out, but you know when a motherfucker goes limp. You can look at the UFC fighters, and they'll even tell the ref he's limp. He's limp.
Mhm.
And for Marines to have their Marine combatives things, they know too when a motherfucker goes limp. So for
So
you to know a motherfucker went limp in your arms and you're still applying that force is extreme and it's
I think
bullshit.
that the difference would be though, in combatives, in UFC and all that, it's a controlled area. In that
You know when
subway,
a body
it's not a
goes limp,
controlled area.
but you know when a body goes limp.
I
And even
also
though
know
it's
a
not
motherfucker
a
can fake it.
controlled, even though it's not controlled, guess what? Now you have other people that still can jump in that non-controlled environment and help
Mhm.
seduce that person,
So do you
subdue
think it
that
was
person.
racism that it was because of racism that he stayed on him?
I don't know. I don't know anything about that dude's background. If I knew anything about his
But that was the
background,
narrative though, Hunt. That was the
I
narrative.
think that he should have let it go. For him not to have let it go, and if I'm not mistaken, people were telling him to let go too. Like,
Okay.
I think he was wrong for that. I think that it was
Okay.
manslaughter. I think at the bare minimum, he should have got charged with manslaughter.
Manslaughter. See that I can agree with you with. I can 100% agree with you with that. But you know what? The to me the biggest issue is a lot of folks want to go straight to the first degree murder because he was black or because he was racist. Like, uh, can we just put that aside for one moment, and maybe just not think that somebody didn't go out with hate? Can we just think that's what I want,
I
But
mean, it's hard
unfortunately,
to
this isn't the
it's hard
world
to
where
think
I
that
want.
people are not going to go out with hate when you have a guy, you know, jogging in a neighborhood and get gunned down by a father and son.
Oh,
It's hard
I
to
remember that one.
yeah, it's hard to say that that we can't live in it. This is the world we live in, but it's like we want you. It's like stop talking about it. It'll go away if you stop talking about it. We're just going to keep doing it. We're going to keep hitting you over the head, and we want you to stop talking about
I don't.
it.
No, it's not stop talking about it. It's stop making it seem that everyone that is a different that is different from yourself or myself is out to get us.
I don't
That's
think
what
that.
I think.
Personally, I don't think that. And there's a lot of people that I'm friends with that'll tell me otherwise. But I don't think that. There's a lot of people that I know that will tell me otherwise.
Mhm.
But I don't think that. Now, I don't think they're out to get us. Do I think there's like, am I always watching them? Be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on you. Just like you keeping your eye on me, I'm gonna keep my eye on you. I'm gonna
Thank
keep
you for
my eye
saying
on
that.
you for fucking
Thank you for
any kind
saying
of
that.
the slightest microaggression is gonna let me know everything I need to know.
So this motherfucker said microaggression. God damn. I never thought I'd see that day. Okay. So is there prejudice? 100%. For anybody to sit here and tell me they're not prejudiced, they're lying 100% through their teeth. I don't care who you are. You could be the most liberal person in the world, lying that you are not prejudiced.
They are
Because if you
liberals.
see a corn-fed, look, you see a corn-fed white boy in motherfucking, uh, you know, overalls with a muscle shirt on, walking around with some steel-toed Doc Martens or whatever. First thing that's gonna come to your mind, like, ooh, that boy has probably got a swastika tattooed somewhere on him.
Probably on his
And he
butt.
could be probably 100% wrong on that, but I'm a prejudge. I am 100%. I'm not gonna lie, 100%. Just as if I see a bunch of these, what y'all call them, YNs now, walking around
Well,
dressed up with
anybody
the
could be a
pants halfway.
YN.
Hey,
Anybody.
I don't know. I thought you had to be a certain complexion and certain age group.
There's some white people. There's some YNs too. These jokers out
Mm.
there. I picked up one during Uber. I was like,
What?
damn, yeah, man. I was like, he was with his homeboy. I said, damn, you really out
And
here?
I was having a conversation with someone. I think it was one of our neighbors, and I wanted to say, like I'm all about root causes. Root causes. What is getting people to be the way that they act? What is the root cause to it? And it all starts at the home, honestly.
Mm, mm,
And no, it starts at the home. Where do you
mm.
start learning hate? At home. That's
The
where it
root
starts.
cause of everything is the economic disparity in communities. Is the lack of resources. So the lack
Right.
of resources
Mhm.
is the root cause of a lot of things. Think about it, right? In certain neighborhoods, there's plenty of resources. You don't have that kind of the crime. You don't have this, that, and the third. You don't have people fighting to get something to survive because
Okay.
resources are there. So when we talk about it, it's the lack of resources in communities. Now, this doesn't mean that everything needs to be handed out and all this, that, and the third, but we can say, hey, listen, cities, what are we doing to make sure that we do have something here functioning for some of these places so we can stop, so these places have an outlook, so these places don't have to resort to this, so we don't have a talking point of Chicago, a talking point of St. Louis, a talking point of
Okay.
insert any democratic city with a large
Right.
black
Well, it
population.
doesn't have to be a democratic city. It could be just any location where that's impoverished.
Exactly.
That's what it boils down to. Because just like you got an epidemic of, let's say, killings in or shootings whether insert major city here, you could also go to Appalachia and insert trailer park town here, and
Yeah,
you'll have the same disparities there because
there's the
the
lack of
economic area.
resources.
Okay, economic research. But here's what I'll say though: as a person that grew up in a very rough neighborhood in a very rough city, it amazes me that I look at my brother who also grew up in the same neighborhood, same city, who's doing pretty well off for himself, out living in Washington, and yet we decided to get ourselves out of that area, and we were extended the same resources that everybody else had there in those areas. Meanwhile, some people still find themselves there wanting, or maybe not wanting, to get out of that economic situation that they're in. Now, what's the difference? I'll
I
say
don't.
that I grew up with a family that had a father and a mother, and they taught us to work for what you have, and if you want more, go out and get it, and get out of there. So one generation is all we lived in South Central, and we got out because we knew that's not where we wanted to be or grow our kids in. Now, I would love it. Trust me, me and my nephew Doggo. You've met Doggo.
Yeah,
You've met him, right? We've talked about how we wish that we could put resources there, like if we had the money to do so, to have like a social center or something. But what ends up happening with that stuff?
yeah, that's crazy because even when you have that social center now, you're gonna have to hire guards, unfortunately, for a while.
Exactly,
But
exactly.
that's just like it just sucks, man. But I know everybody can say at the home and everything, and I got that, and I do got that, and I know where that to go to. But like, I just think that like the resources, the food deserts, like Jesus Christ, man, like there's no like Ron Dami is trying to make things affordable and have these like these grocery stores or whatever easily affordable for the less fortunate among us, and he's just like this horrible radical leftist person, and when he's just want to make sure that people, especially kids, are able to eat. But I have a
Mhm,
soft spot in my, and I'm not going to say this online. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to. No one's business why, but I have a
mhm,
soft spot in my heart when, especially for children that are
mhm,
not eating and are not fed right.
mhm.
Soft spot. So I don't care, and I don't care if my tax dollars go to feeding kids or whatever. I don't care if those tax dollars go to people on welfare. I don't care as long as some kids can get some food in their fucking bellies. Like I don't like. There's no reason why kids shouldn't be able to eat for free at school. I
None.
don't care. There should be no stigma in behind it by you being on free lunch. And if people think that there's something wrong with that, these kids eating for free, and what about this, that, and the third, and it's not about these kids being fed, then
Mhm.
they're a horrible human being. And
I
circling back, and a lot of them will probably swear up and down they're Christians, not
so
knowing that Jesus fed people. With the leftovers, he was like, "Yo, take as much as you want. You see all this food, take it, eat it."
and I agree with you 100% on that. I think everybody would agree with you. There's no reason that any child should be hungry. You know, when they go to school, eat. Yeah, if there's how much food doesn't go to waste,
A lot
and
of it.
you know what I mean. And it's shocking to me. Now, when we start talking about the welfare and all that, the problem I have with it is people become dependent on it. Ain't nothing wrong with helping somebody out and walking with them. You know what I'm saying? Like help them, but don't become a permanent crutch either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that's the problem, that people take kindness for a weakness a lot of the times, or not just that, they just become so dependent on being taken care of that they forget how to become self-sufficient. There's no pride in wanting to use welfare the way it should be used, which is to get yourself in a better position to where you don't need it anymore. You see what I'm saying? Once it becomes cyclical, where you have families doing generation and generation of it, it's like, damn. I was watching this one documentary of this family out in, I want to say it was like, I don't know if it was West Virginia or in Kentucky, somewhere out in those little towns. But a lot of them are on the system of where they get disability. You know what I'm saying? And they're just taking advantage of the system. And I'm thinking to myself, like, so you're part of the fucking problem right here. You know what I'm saying? Why can't you just use the system to get you to where you need to be, where you're on your feet, get on your feet? But no, they just want to keep living off the system, off the government dime. And that's where it becomes a problem to me, because
So,
now you're just taking advantage of the system.
so I'm glad you said that, right?
Hmm.
What is the difference between them using that system and taking advantage of it, and the ultra wealthy and rich using every loophole, taking advantage of the system to minimize their taxes or not pay no taxes at all, and to do everything they can to hide funds and money and do create this shell company or LLC to create this umbrella, not to pay taxes, not to pay into society. But we vilify and we demonize the less fortunate for taking advantage of the system because they're taking, when the
So
ultra wealthy are taking advantage of the system and they're not even
I'll,
putting into the system.
I got you. I got you. Um, because those ultra wealthy are using loopholes. They're already getting taxed all over the place. So they're using the loopholes that the government put in place in order to avoid paying additional monies that they already pay into. Now, these less fortunate that are taking advantage of the system aren't putting a cent into it. That would be the difference. You
But
see,
I
that
don't
would be the
see them
difference to
doing
me.
that because, like, everybody says Elon Musk, richest man in the world. Elon Musk has like one of the lowest salaries there is. He's only rich because of his stock options.
Hmm.
That's what
Okay.
makes him rich. And he
Exactly.
borrows against it. He borrows against his stocks.
Right. And then he
So
pays
what
shit
he
back. Mhm.
does is he purposefully does not take a high salary because he doesn't want to get taxed. He lives a minimalist life, which is nothing wrong with that. Everything he's doing is legal. I'm not hating on it. It's part of the system. It's there for a reason. People are using these loopholes.
Does he
Is
have
it
people
fucked up?
employed?
You talking about his companies?
Yeah. Do they employ people?
Yeah, his companies employ people. So you're talking about
So,
paying payroll taxes. I got you.
what I'm saying is, I mean, he we could vilify it any way we want. At the end of the day, though, he is paying something. Versus those that are paying nothing or have not paid anything to get any kind of what they call what are they called, entitlement. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you examples. I have a family member, dead now, but this person was drawing Social Security. Never worked a day in their life here. Drawing Social Security. How fair is that? When my mom worked her ass off here, cleaning hotel rooms to draw the same Social Security that other person was receiving for free. You see what I'm saying? So to me, that's where the differences are. Now, again, I have a heart, bro. I do, but people may not think I do, but I do. Let's go to immigration. People come in here, you know, yeah, let's let everybody in. Let's let everybody in. Here's the issue. And I had this discussion with my mom because, again, I'm a family of immigrants. They came here illegally. But guess what? It got legalized afterwards. I don't understand how people have been here 30 years illegally. It just blows my freaking mind. But anywho, um, I told my mom, like, Mom, yeah, we have all this space here. Because everybody keeps saying we have all this space here in the US. Okay, we have all this space. Meanwhile, we don't have the resources for all these people. We don't. Here in San Antonio, these lakes are going down. We don't have an infinite amount of water in these reservoirs, but more people will keep coming. More people need the resources. But yet, you say something like that. Oh, you're racist. Or I'm sorry, I'm a sellout or I'm a coconut. I'm
Yeah,
not,
I've heard that before.
I'm just saying, if there were resources to provide, I got you. But okay, let's go say we want to build a town for people that are coming in here to build our own community. Where are the resources going to come for that? We barely have enough resources for our people here, bro. And I just want that to kind of like enter people's head.
See,
If we barely got enough for ourselves, how are we going to have for those that don't?
I think the problem is people don't articulate things kind of or put things in the perspective that you did, right? People will be like, get them out of here. They don't belong with no kind of
Got
articulation, with no kind of, hey, listen, this is my thought processing behind it, right? Because we talk about this in a logistical or whatever kind of way. People don't
you.
do that. They just get them out of here right now, send them back.
Right.
They're this, and the third, right? That for some reason, every single person is a mental health patient. Like that's wild. That's wild. But listen, I got it. I honestly do. Like
Mhm.
I have a lot of compassion. Like a lot of these people, like they're saying they some people they say a lot of them from what I've heard. Very smart people have told me. They tell me this all the time. The smart people, but some of them are seeking asylum. Some of them seeking political asylum,
Mhm.
right? So why are we not treating the South Americans like we treat the Cubans? Cubans get to seek political asylum. They get one foot on this land, it's over. They stand.
Mhm.
So why are we not
And
treating the South Americans the same way?
I give you a thank you for bringing that one up. So, why do they have to come in? What are they seeking asylum from?
Whatever political bullshit's going on over there. I don't because listen, I'm
Okay.
trying to learn Spanish. I'm trying to move over there.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you. Let's say Venezuela.
Mhm,
Let's say they're trying to escape their political because of their political beliefs, they're wanted, right?
mhm.
So there's a lot of other countries in South America though.
There's a lot of those countries than other than fucking America that the Cubans can come to.
So there's a lot of other countries that they can go to between here and there to seek asylum. But why do they come here?
Why do the Cubans come here? There's a lot of other countries they can
Say
fly
again?
to and see. Why do the Cubans
Uh,
get to come here? There's I know it's
because
90 miles. I know it's 90 miles,
I'm about to
but
say that. I mean, it's a lot
yeah,
easier to get on a boat,
because
a makeshift boat, and let the currents bring you to the Florida Straits and hit Key West or somewhere on the Florida coast than them getting on an airplane. And so I'm just
make it
saying,
happen, Captain. Right?
hey, yeah, if they can. But what's more feasible? Trying to save money that you don't have to catch a flight to go somewhere that you can't afford, or hey, let me jump on that raft with you, bro, and we'll risk it 90 miles away.
Risk it for the biscuit. Fuck these sharks.
Exactly, right? So I mean that's just my perspective. And then a lot of things, a lot of people say they're fleeing. What is it exactly that they're fleeing? Like, what kind of
Fleeing the cartels.
persecution? Hmm?
Fleeing the cartels. Persecution from the
Okay.
cartels.
So that's a little different because that's not political. That's more your government needs to handle that. You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and plus there's also different methods to you can't just run into a place and say, "Help me, I'm seeking political asylum." Okay, there's a method to do it. And that's where I differ where I there needs to be major, major, major immigration reform. It's how did we end up in the situation that we're in right now? Oh, it's following you.
Yeah.
So, how did we end up in the situation that we're in with a far MAGA right administration? Because every 4 years they kept kicking the can down the road. They kept promising that something was going to happen. They promised that there was going to be immigration reform, but what do? Kick the can down the road. And what happens? People start getting frustrated and frustrated and frustrated. And then finally one comes in and says, "You know what? I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm going to make this shit happen." And guess what? He's making it happen. For as much as anybody wants to hate on that motherfucker, he kept his word on what the fuck he was gonna do. So I mean, people can hate, but at the same time, we got here because our elected officials kept kicking that fucking can down the road, left and right. So
Did
what
they?
they need to do,
Obama
yeah,
was called the reporter in chief.
right.
Check her
They
hole.
kept kicking.
So no,
Was
he
there
was
any
called the
immigration?
deporter in chief.
Right. Was there any immigration reform done? None. So they
There was a
kept
lot of
kicking it
obstruction done.
down the fucking road. Congress needs to come together, get something done right, and
No,
fucking put it in there
Congress
and get
doesn't need to come together. What needs to happen is all Americans need to get their head out their fucking ass and get all of these 60s, 70s, and 80-year-olds the fuck out of Congress. That's what needs to fucking happen. I don't care if you're left, right, or center. There's no fucking reason you being past the age of 65, 67. Matter of fact, retirement is at 67 now, right? Why the fuck are you still in office? Go fucking
Why?
retire. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent.
Yeah.
Why are you 70, 80 years old in office? Your ideas are archaic.
Yes.
No,
100%.
you don't need to fucking do this. Get the fuck out. And it's the American people that are so stupid that keep putting these old motherfuckers in there to die. There have been 3 senators that have passed away.
Hunt, here's the issue. Everybody worries about the every 4-year fucking election instead of the one in between. Everybody worries about who's going to be the top dog on top instead of worrying about those that have been political figure or pawns in there, those that are making money off the lobbyists. If they've been senators or if they've been like representatives of their states for over 10 years, it's time to move. You know what I'm saying? Move on to something else.
Yeah.
Have a retire. You know what? Even the military says 20 and you're out, 30 at the most and you're out.
Dude,
you know,
even the Army for sure says, hey, you get what 2.5, maybe 2.5 years, 3 years as a command, and then you got to go. It's time for somebody else. It's time for fresh blood to come in here.
Exactly. So
everything needs that. The fucking Supreme Court needs term limits. There's no fucking way that fucking there should be Supreme Court justices dying. There 2 in recent years that I remember. Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Antonin Scalia. Both died while sitting on the bench. Antonin Scalia, he was still roughly a young man. He was still young. He was younger. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, like, why? Why? What was the point? Because you're so egotistical. You're driven by your own ego, and you have this self-inflated worth about you. Republicans, Democrats, Independents. That's why you guys will not give up your fucking seats. Because it's about you, your legacy, and only you. There's no reason why these motherfuckers cannot be grooming, if you will, their successor.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay. My shit disconnected for a second. That's why. No, and you are 100% right on that. I mean, and again, Americans need to get their heads out their ass, like you said, and start voting every 2 years. Start going to these midterm elections. Those are the ones that actually they're going to be there long gone after the president that you wanted is retired and gone.
They don't care. What's crazy is they don't care about the the midterms until after they happen and the parties and it flips. And then they're like, well, shit, now we got to make sure that we vote these motherfuckers out in 2 more years and get shit back together. It's like,
you know what kills me? What kills me is that's like I put on your Facebook, man. Lather, rinse, and repeat. This is going to happen again in 3 years. And it's going to be the world is ending again. This is going to be the most important election of your lifetime. I've heard that for 6 different elections already. It's the most important one of a lifetime. Huh?
Yeah, it was. Last one was important. Look at what's going on now. Weaponization of the military. Weaponization of the military. We have farmers that are losing their farms. Generation of farms that are being lost right now. Right, and that should kill everybody. You know that under the previous administration, that the farmers had theirs on the front end and not the back end. Like they're getting all their financial help is coming on the back end. Farmers made sure they had theirs first. Right, so we have farmers that are being screwed right now. We have the weaponization of the government. We have censorship.
Let's talk about that. Now. Hold on, let's talk about that real quick. I don't know about the farmers things. That's definitely something that next week, when all 3 of us are together, we can discuss, because I don't know much about that. But I will say the weaponization. I don't want to say we're weaponizing the military. So how?
The governors of the state have sole authority over the National Guard. They're the ones that activate them. The state pays the National Guard. Oh shit! Go ahead, Osbot.
Damn. It started zooming in on you like, oh, he's cooking. Yeah. He's cooking. Yeah.
Let him cook.
Go ahead, cook, baby.
Yeah, so fucking the government pays them, weaponizing them, and only sending them in to, that's right, Osbot, only sending them in to fucking liberal cities. So you're doing this. You're labeling the cities that they're in liberal cities. And we're going to use the federal government to go to liberal cities. You are making this political. because they're liberal cities.
I
We're
agree that
sending the
determine.
military force to these liberal cities. You have
Mhm.
weaponized the military. Therefore,
So let me interject real quick. I agree that some people are stupid with their mouths, very stupid. But I will say that these cities, it looks like their city government isn't fucking doing anything for them.
what about Appalachia? You just talked about that.
Appalachia,
That yeah,
not me, but yeah,
but
about it.
nobody is saying anything about them. Those are fucked up cities too. You can't tell me that crime is not out of control there. You can't tell me drugs are not out of control there. You can't tell me.
So let's compare. Let's compare a city of hundreds of thousands or even millions to a fucking podunk town of 400. Come on now, that's a big difference there.
Crime is crime. That's what everybody
Okay,
says.
but well, crime is crime.
And then
It
here's
can
the
be.
thing though. Everybody acts like that is happening all over the city when we know it's only happening in a small portion of the city. Say it's happening on the
I
west
know.
side of town and only the west side of town. And the west
Hmm.
side of town maybe has 600 people.
Hmm.
So what's the difference between that crime happening on the west side of town with 600 people than the crime happening in butt fuck smoking? Yeah.
Okay, I'll say it again. I think that it has to do with the police not being able to police. They're not doing what they got to do to keep that place safe or relatively safe. Again, I don't know. I don't live out there, but I mean, you're making good points. You know what I'm saying? I'm not contradicting what you're saying. What I'm saying is, though, what I will say is that the need is there for tighter city state policing to be done. And then if it's not being done, like I said, if the can keeps getting kicked down, somebody's gonna come in and say, you know what, let me fix it. It's, if you can't do your fucking job, I'm gonna do it for you. That's
So
basically what it's boiling down to.
what happens when because we're weaponizing the military, some poor soldier gets killed? That some of these people in these inner cities say, fuck this shit, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna kill this soldier. So
Okay,
now
so is that
what happens is
justifying it?
no, it's not justifying it. I'm not justifying it. What I'm saying is it's gonna be a big shit show. Because now you have American soldier who has been killed. So what happens now? Now the full weight of the military is really going to come down. We're really going to see a crackdown. We're really
Well,
going to see an authoritarian state.
so
All they need is
so
one person, and you will see an authoritarian state like you've never seen before in your life.
eh, so I mean, it happens already with the police, where police
But
get killed.
but this is the military,
Okay,
and I
but
got it. The police get killed, but you see, but we're
police.
talking about weaponizing the military.
So again, if the police can do their fucking job and police their city streets up, so be
Blame
it.
the cops for not doing it. Blame the fucking mayor for
Hundred
not
percent,
enforcing it. So then
100%.
so blame them. Don't put the military in there and especially label them liberal cities because once again, you are making
I
this
agree with
political.
now. Yeah, the wording on that, yeah, completely is fucking retarded. A city is a city. A city is a fucking city. I hate fucking categorizing shit. A city is a city. Whatever city is fucked up, if it needs that additional support, fuck it.
Hey,
Now I'm not saying that they should stay there permanently. They should just be there. Now, anyways, aren't they being put in places where they can only be in like federalized areas, federal building areas, right? It's not
no,
like they were
they no.
policing the streets.
Let me ask you this. Seriously. If it
Mhm.
was that big of a problem, why 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 is it that nobody's saying let's hire more police in the city? Let's free up some funding. Why are
They
they
probably
not
don't
going?
have
Why is
any
the
funds
governor?
for new
Okay, so
police
why is the governor not going to the federal government and being like, hey, if you want us to take care of this, we need some additional funding to hire more police. So that way we don't have to get the military
because
involved.
okay,
It's too easy.
let me answer that. Let me answer that. What are you doing with the funds you're already getting? Oh,
We're
do
talking
you want
about
to?
hiring more people.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So, what are you doing currently with the federal funding or money that you're being provided? What are you spending it on? Are you spending it on fucking social entitlements that instead of hiring more police officers? Are you spending it on other shit that is not necessary or is a social fucking a social,
Safety
like I said,
net,
a social entitlement, huh?
a safety net.
Safety net. Spend it on where it needs to be. Spend it with the police. if that's what they need to be spent on. That's what I
Even
would say.
so, what if they open up their balance sheets? Let's play this as a
Oh
perfect world.
God, let's play the
So
what if
you
game. Let's do
open
this.
up the balance sheets. You see that there's no crazy stuff going to these social liberal entitlements. You see that, hey, listen, we got funds for parks, to
Hmm.
restoration of the parks. We
Okay.
got funds for restoration of the roads. We got
Okay.
funds for restoration of libraries. We got funds for infrastructure in this city. We have funds for feeding kids.
So I
We have
need to
all this.
see.
So
I
okay,
I
so
would love
what
it.
happens then? So then, like I said, the mayor goes to the governor. Hey, we need more
Hmm.
money. The
Okay.
governor goes to the federal governor. Hey, this city is doing this, this, and this, and this, right? But we need federal funds to hire more cops.
So I would pump the brakes right there and be like, if you want me to give you federal funding, it's got to go to a federal. Let's first of all let's start from from the bottom up. Then, all right. A hey mayor, the police, we need some money to hire more folks. All right, let me go ahead and break out my spreadsheet. Oh damn, I'm tapped out. Let me go hit the governor up. Hey governor, I need some funds for you to kick down to my city so I can hire more folks. The governor should then open up his Excel spreadsheet and be like, all right, let me see where I can pick the money out of. Now, once they've done their due diligence, they can go ahead and have an itemized list and be like, hey, um, state senator, I need you to kick this up to the fucking president or whatever, whoever the fucking, whatever the pecking order is. Hey, Mr. President, here's my itemized list right now showing you where all my funds are going. As you can see, nothing is going to anything that's remotely a social entitlement
Liberal.
or that no social. Okay, fine, call it liberal if that's what you want to call it. It's not going to something stupid that doesn't that is worth. We're not going to paint. My money's not going to paint the streets fucking rainbow flagged. All right. Tell me that's not a waste of fucking money and resources. Anyways, if then they itemize it, hey, you know what? Yeah, man, I'll kick you down some bucks. Bam, there you go. But let's like you said, let's take out the fucking Excel spreadsheets. Where's the money going? That's all I want to know. You know, as a matter of fact, we had this conversation last week, Chooks and I, about how much is each student worth per at a school. How much is each student worth? And there should be a way there, especially nowadays, everything's technology. There should be a way to follow every cent for that child where it's going. There's no reason that the X amount of money that's paid per student per year that kid should be having to pay for any kind of food. You know what I'm
Same with the
saying?
government. Same when it comes to military spending. Like you can't tell me there's a lot of kickbacks. You
Ooh,
can't tell me there's a lot of kickbacks. There's a shit ton of
bro,
we've I'm not a huge fan. I
we've been
kind
in
of
the
fuck with
military,
DARPA.
bro. So you know,
Yeah. I kind of
you
fuck with
know.
DARPA, but I don't fuck with DARPA. But like I said, I fuck with DARPA because they're doing some cool shit. But do y'all really need a black budget? Like, do we really
What
need
is
what's it?
DARPA?
800 DARPA Defense Agency something something something. But
What
it
do they
is
do?
DARPA's like 10 years ahead of us right now. So anything that we have right now, as far as like technology,
Hmm.
DARPA is 10 years ahead of us. What's
Okay.
the latest thing that came out? Uh, we can the latest hot thing that came out as far as like technology, right? DARPA's already 10 years past that. They're ahead of that right now. Like Annie Jacobson has a book about it. Pentagon's
Mm.
Brain. Actually, I have the book.
So going back to accountability, though, going back to accountability, that's what it boils down to, right? Accountability.
Yeah.
So where's the money going to? What is it being spent on? I think we all agree that the money should go to helping out the community, your state, your your region. That's where it should be at. And yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that people making it sound like fucking, oh, he's putting troops all over the cities and shit like that. I mean, let's be real. Some of these cities can't get their heads out of their asses. They
Still
can't.
shouldn't be there.
Say again?
Still shouldn't be there.
Still shouldn't be there. So, okay, so just okay. You know what? I'll play your game. Then what happens when these cities go to shit? These cities completely go to shit and Then they're gonna be like, well, where was the federal government then? Well, the federal government tried to help, but y'all said no.
So remember how you were talking about like you keep hearing about how the sky's falling every 4 years or
Hmm.
whatever. I keep hearing about the sky's falling, Chicago this, Chicago that, and Chicago
Hmm.
hasn't failed.
Not yet.
Okay, it's the
Have you
same
been in
thing.
Chicago? You ever been in Chicago?
Or so, man. I'm
Have
from
you
O
been there?
Block.
Have you been to Chicago?
I'm from 63rd or 64th or whatever the fuck Vaughn said. Yeah, I'm not from 63rd.
Oh man, oh man. I'll tell you,
I
Chicago
took him
is a
to the
beautiful
O.
city. Chicago is a beautiful city. It really, really is. But there are some parts in Chicago
That's what I
that
talked
it's
about.
funny.
Remember when you have that certain sector, the West Side, for instance,
Hmm.
but
Right.
everything else is cool. So once
Because
again,
here's
why
the thing
not
about
just
Chicago. Chicago, it's beautiful, but it's condensed as fuck too. It is very condensed. So I say that to say this. There's areas in Chicago you can go to that if you see a flashing light, there's like literally a whoopee light. Literally a whoopee light that lets you know this is a fucked up neighborhood. You don't want to be here. If you ain't from here, don't be here. I remember because I went with our buddy who
Mhm.
was living out there, and let's just say we were rolling in a Cadillac, listening to "I Got Money in the Bank." Shorty, what you drank?
A little
That shit was
scrappy.
thumping,
Mm,
and yet he came out dressed like he would normally dress on a weekend. If you remember what I'm talking about,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm from the hood, dog, and this motherfucker had me like, man, we're gonna get shot out here. I'm over here with a white boy dressed like this
yeah.
and shit, this and this.
Money in the
But
bank. Yeah.
but he told me like, because I was wondering like, what's that whoopee like for? He's like, oh yeah, that's because this is a bad neighborhood. And when they say bad neighborhood for a city so small like that, the death rates or the shooting rates shouldn't be up as high as they are. There shouldn't be, man. And again, I'm gonna go back to the root cause of this. It starts at the home. And I was telling my neighbor before we got sidetracked on this. I was telling my neighbor that I trip out because a lot of my friends that are, as they like to call themselves, people of color. But yeah, you call them colored people, they don't like it. I don't get it. But they're being fathers to their children. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I think that's where it all stems to, man. Having a father in the household, having that nuclear family that everybody makes fucking fun of. It a father figure influences children, and children are just direct reflections of their households. That's just my opinion, and I was taught, again, the reason that my family only lived there one generation is because we were taught to have pride in ourselves and work for what we got and get the fuck out if you don't want to be here.
So I think a lot of people have that same mentality. It's just not. I don't think that that's the narrative that is spent a lot. That is broadcasted out there.
It needs to be
And I
reinforced.
think, and I think that once that narrative is out there, people like try to they'll gloss over it and they're like, well, why do you got to bring up this? Because it's something to be like. I mean, if you're going to celebrate, if you're going to talk bad about it, let's talk about the good things. Let's talk about how they are a lot of. And anybody can look this up. How black
Mhm,
fathers are active. I'm just using black fathers. How black fathers are
mhm.
extremely active in their kids' lives. Right? We don't do
That's
that
what I was
because
talking about, bro.
it's so easy just to be like to run with a trope and a narrative. For instance, you know, what is a trope and a narrative is this that Africa is a dirty place, it's poor, this and the third. But if you look at Africa, some of these places, beautiful places to live. Beautiful, beautiful places. But no one ever shows that on TV. No one does. They show the malnutrition children there. They show
Mhm.
hot conditions. They never show the beautiful places in Africa.
I'm
They
sure that
never do.
there's a lot of beautiful places throughout all the world. Doesn't mean I'm gonna fucking go out there and be there.
Yeah, it does. I have 4 more years and I'm moving to Thailand. I get it.
Man, I've been hearing that. See, you are the same exact.
I'm
I heard
moving.
that
Okay.
shit. Now it's been
I
6 years.
I
I've been hearing
cannot.
that.
Well, I can't because I've made a promise. I made a
Well,
promise that
I'm happy that you're
until
keeping your
somebody
promise.
turns 18,
Okay.
until she turns 18, I said I won't go.
And you know what? Again, I'm gonna go back to that. I stated to that person, like, I see a lot of these fathers are being fathers to their kids. All right. And that to me, I believe makes a big difference. A lot of cats grew up without a father figure or a father in the home. and they, in turn, rather than keep that cycle, they broke that cycle and are saying, "Fuck that! I'm gonna be, even if it's a co-parent." You know what I'm saying? Is
Yeah, you got to
being there.
be who you needed.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's a wonderful thing. And then like I really am hoping that people, because last year I noticed it, man, and I know I'm shifting this to a different way, but we're about to wrap this up here soon. I've already had you here for an hour and 10 minutes, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. Because this honestly feels like a regular conversation we would have on the phone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm
and it
hoping
is
that.
good. It is good. We're about to wrap up because the Longhorns are about to come on.
Oh, okay. So I'll say this. I hope that last year I started noticing a lot of folks were um, falling into spirituality. You know what I'm saying? You started looking into your spirituality through
IFA.
that, yeah, that thing. I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna pretend to know what it is, but I know it was something that you were looking into, and it was into your roots, and bless you for it. I hope that it's something that you find purpose with. On the same token, though, I hope that you would see that the way that you're a follower of IFA, there's a lot that I'm pretty sure there's probably folks on that side
Oh yeah.
that aren't the greatest.
Me. There's people like, yo, dude, you suck at this.
No,
And I'm
but
like,
what I'm
yeah, I do.
saying, no, but what I'm saying is just like, we're quick to call out Christians for hypocrisy. There's
Oh
many
yeah.
other people from other denominations or other beliefs that fall in that same boat.
Yeah, I'm telling
So
you, man. Like when it comes to IFA, like people, like anybody that follows IFA, and they'll be like, dude, you suck at this. Like you are horrible. Like you suck at this. Like suck bad.
but here's the thing. Also, we can't blanket everyone. And you're right. People are guilty of that because they try to blanket whole races and just as that's wrong, two wrongs don't make a right, pimping.
I
And you
blame
know that. But
conservative
what'd you
nationalists.
say?
I say conservative Christian nationalists. Shout out to all the other
Conservative.
conservative. Shout out to all the Christians that are not conservative Christian nationalists. You
So
guys are doing
I'm
your thing.
so I am center right, which makes me conservative. I am a follower of Christ, which makes me a Christian. And I believe that my country is the greatest fucking country in the world. And that makes me a nationalist, right? Is that what a nationalist is?
What makes you a fascist?
Makes me a
You ever see?
fascist?
You ever see? What was that?
What is a
Creature.
fascist?
You ever see? Did you ever see Creature Command?
I don't even know what that is.
You got to watch it. So there's a little meme going on last year where this robot, GI robot, would be like, "That's something a Yahtzee would say." You know what I'm talking about, right? You seen that
Yeah,
little thing?
I feel yeah.
Yes, that's from Creature Command. So when you ask that question, I'm like, "That's something a Yahtzee would say."
I'm just saying, um, what is a nationalist? What does that mean?
Listen, I think there's nothing wrong with somebody having pride in their country, but when you do it to the extreme, that's when it comes like, "Hey, man, you kind of doing the extra most." Like, there's nothing wrong.
Would
That's
would
you know what? That's gonna lead me down another path that
All
I
right,
that I
so
harp on.
okay, we'll settle it on this one then. All right, what do you call Dallas Dallas Cowboys football fan who was always there through and through, never giving up on them? They're a fan, right? I mean,
They're
are they
victim.
are we gonna hate on them?
They're victim.
They're
We are
Yo,
victims.
that game, by the way, that game was rigged, bro.
Boy, boy, boy,
That
boy,
game
boy.
that game was rigged. I
Listen,
love
if
seeing
Dallas
Dak.
doesn't win tomorrow against the fucking Jets, I'm completely done. It's the fucking
Man,
Jets. The Jets
yeah,
haven't won yet.
you've
Like,
heard
come the
this
fuck
right here. And then for those of us that have mutual friends, you're gonna see on this Facebook, day one Dallas
on.
fan.
I
I
know.
fucking
Come
hate the
tomorrow.
Cowboys.
Goddamn Jerry Jones, you sack of shit, you piece of shit, you old fuck.
Oh man. Hey, for those of y'all that if y'all stayed here throughout the whole time, I appreciate y'all listening to me and my boy he doesn't like being called boy,
Yeah,
even though he
boy.
knows I'm not meaning it in that
Grown
way.
ass man. Boy, there's only
Mm,
two boys. Cowboys and
what
white boys.
white? Well, anyways, y'all go follow him at he's now I think
Yeah, Dark Virgo.
Dark Virgo 48, 84.
82. I had to
Oh,
change
Dark
it up
Virgo
right after.
82 on TikTok. He be going off on there sometimes.
A lot of times.
As you can see, we happen to have a good conversation, and he's about to go watch his Longhorns get
No, I
whooped.
thought I left my Uncrustable out. I got Uncrustables last night.
I saw you. I saw that. He said, "Don't judge me."
I thought I left one out. I was like, fuck.
Oh man, hey man, thank you for hanging out with me on this one, brother.
Yeah, man, no problem.
But um, I was asked to ask you one question.
Mm-hmm.
What is a Christian?
Come on, Spot. Focus on
Yeah, it ain't doing it. See,
damn it.
that's what you get.
There we go.
Oh, there it is.
What is
So, what is a Christian?
Mm-hmm. I think I know who asked that question. So I believe in somebody that follows Christ, right? But and this is where I, like I said, me personally, like I have a hard time with this because like, yes, I do know what scripture says. I do know this, but when I know that if I'm not doing the basics, how can I say I'm a Christian? If I'm not doing the basics, if I'm not living up to the basics and the bare minimum. And I would like to say this. Like I said, a Christian is somebody that follows Christ, somebody that believes that that Christ came down and died for their sins, right? And they want to pick up their cross and follow him. But it's just more than that. Like, how can you like we have to strive to be like Christ, right? But how can we strive to be like him if we're not giving aid to those the weakest among us? How can we not how can we say we're walking Christ like if we're not turning the other cheek? How are we acting Christ like if we're worried about people breaking laws when Jesus was murdered because he broke laws?
Those are very thoughtful questions. So, all right. I dig it. I dig it. Hey, I'm not. You're not getting any retort from me. It's
That's
just a
what I'm saying.
question.
Like I'm saying, like this is why I'm like, yo, how can I do this? This is me personally. I'm not shitting on nobody
No.
else. I
Yeah.
want everybody to know this. I'm not shitting on nobody else. I'm saying me. Like if I'm reading this word for word, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing this. And I got it. We all sin and we fall short of the glory. But like,
hmm
how can I in good conscience call myself this?
Because you're
I can't.
a
I
Christian.
can't.
No. So
Me, I can't.
no,
Me,
I got
me,
you. I got you
Lamichael Hunt.
100%. hmm So and that's 100%. That's definitely your prerogative. I mean, um, I fall short, and I consider myself a follower of Christ, and God knows that I am nowhere near being a perfect person. And it's like the 99 and the 100. I mean, I'm sorry, the 99 and one. You know, um, God knows that there's 99 of them that are going to stay back there. They're cool. I'm that one that he's going to choose to, go and pick up because I fall by the wayside. I mean, we wouldn't be human if we didn't fall short. I mean, here's the thing. I don't think anybody will ever be like Jesus. And I don't think he wants everybody to be like him. At least try. As long as people try. It's like I tell, you know, when I was an NCO and I had my soldiers and we would do our PT tests or all that good stuff. I'll tell them, I don't expect you to be 100 on everything, but I expect you to give me your 100. And I want you to at least try to be the best person you can be. That's it. And that's all that God wants from us. But anywho, that's a different story for a different day.
Yeah.
And
Maybe we can have that when we bring Juice up here. Like I think that we can have great discussion. Like we'd have to make. I think we can have great discussion.
yeah, dude. I mean,
Maybe not so
honest.
much. Even if it's not about politics, just about the state of affair with the military. I think that'd be a great topic for us to
Oh God, I wanted to talk about that so bad. As far as
have.
like with Hexeth going up
Move
in
out
there and doing
and
that
draw
safety
fire.
stand down.
We are the
Mhm.
war department. Cricket. Our man's out of here. Motherfucker, don't you
Man,
got some goddamn Jack Daniels to drink right now?
man, look. I think, of course, here's what happens. This is what happens when you put a TV personality into a government role.
Like the
It's
president.
exactly 100%, bro.
This is a shit
You're
show.
not gonna get any. But guess what? The man is doing what he said he was gonna do. So, but
And
with
he's
that
doing what he
said,
said he wasn't going to do, which was Project 2025.
I haven't seen that yet. So until that gets implemented, Oh, and by the way, Stevens, go fuck yourself if you see this one. You were the most retarded motherfucker in boot camp, basic training at Fort Sill,
Listen,
Oklahoma.
I think I know one that may have taken his place. I don't know Stevens when he was in basic.
Oh,
But
I
know,
knew him.
No, but I know one that probably took his place.
Oh, stinky ass motherfucker. You lucky that there's a Freeman. So, but
No,
only Freeman was more retarded than him. But anyway.
I'm talking about Freeman.
With that said, y'all, I'm glad y'all hung out with us here. Rounds complete and the mission. Go watch Dark Virgo 82
No,
on
don't
TikTok.
do that. You're gonna be pissed off.
Yeah. You only get pissed off if you let it affect you.
Yeah.
Rounds complete and the mission. Gunline out. Deuces, y'all. And